Okay. Hello, everyone here with us in the AMA chat. I hope you're all having a good day, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Welcome to the first AMA session we're hosting on our server. A bit nerve-wracking for us today. This is our first one, so please be nice to us. Okay, today we've got Ronnie, who is Crabada's marketplace product manager. We've also got Shinigami, who I know, I assume you're all very familiar with him already. He's our marketing lead in Crabada. Today we've got some topics lined up for discussion, as well as the AMA text channel, which is open for questions. Okay, before we begin today's AMA, I just want to add a quick note to say that we appreciate you all loyal Crabadians for supporting us as we work tirelessly to push out the best version of our subnet and battle game. We know... Oh, hang on. Yeah, please say hi later. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'm thanking everyone. Just thank you for all of your support in keeping our community healthy and positive, especially during these times. We know how hard it is recently. Before I touch on any of the topics we have lined up today, I want to do a bit of housekeeping. I'm going to tune into the text channel now. Maybe Shinigami and Ronnie, let's say hi to everyone and maybe introduce yourself a little bit and explain to everyone like your role in Crabada, and yeah. Take it away.
Thank you.
All right, Ronnie, you want to go first?
All right, I can take it first. Firstly, hello to everyone. I'm not sure which part of the world you are in, but I hope there's some Vietnamese, as I'm a Vietnamese. Right. So yeah, I'm Ronnie, and I've been working with Crabada for a short while now, mainly revolving in the marketplace and the idle game. So we've been having the good time and also a tough time recently, as you know. So it's been an interesting journey for me personally. It's been also grateful and joyful to see everyone here and to work alongside with, Swan here and Shinigami. So yeah.
If you guys don't know, Ronnie is actually a newer addition to our team. So we're all very happy to have Ronnie on board. Welcome, Ronnie. It's been a while since you actually joined, but so officially welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Shinigami up next.
All right. Hi guys. Shini here. Pretty sure that many of you are pretty familiar with me. It's my first non-tech appearance after so many months. So really excited to be here and to be speaking in front of everyone, right? To address you guys in voice. So prior to this, a bit of background about myself. I've been delving in advertising, marketing, design, UI, UX for the past 12 years now professionally. And I think this journey in the Web3 space has been nothing like what I imagined. It's really a roller coaster ride, and it's been really fun and exciting so far. And I am thankful for this opportunity, amongst the great team that we have, and as well as you guys in the community. You have made this experience and really awesome one so far, and looking forward to more great times.
100%. Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time for us, especially for Crabada. We've got a lot of things coming on the way, especially next month. It should be a very exciting / hectic month for us. Okay, right, before we begin, housekeeping again. Everyone in the AMA chat, hello, hi, GM. How are you guys? Please tell me how you are. I want to know. How are you guys doing? How's your day? What do you have for lunch or breakfast? I don't know. right, we've got a lot of GMs coming. GM guys, GM. Okay. Okay, I feel like it just started a GM train. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and address whatever topics we have lined up today. Everyone feel free to add your questions in the AMA chat. We'll be answering them towards the end or just picking up a few here and there while we go about our topics today. Okay, so one of the first things we want to address is the gas fees. I think we're all upset about it. We especially the team, we're very much aware of the current situation and we feel the extreme pain of it too. The team is still actively exploring options that are almost immediately feasible and doesn't impact the operational capability of Crabada in the long term, or to add additional dev effort, which will cause delays to the current timeline of Swimmer. So obviously we've already been waiting for Swimmer for a little bit now, and yeah, so those are just one of the things that we're weighing the decision on. Many of our current options currently involve codependencies with external parties or have impacts on the game/economy. So meanwhile, please hang tight and keep your crabs close. Readjust your strategies to what's comfortable to you, and we'll weather through the storm together. Swimmer is near. So hang tight, everybody. Okay. Shall we take a few questions now? What do you guys think? Question, One Moon. That's up to you. Thank you for complimenting me on my English. Okay, let me just pass it on to Ronnie. We'll take questions towards the end. And yep. I think, Ronnie, we can touch on maybe issues around playability.
Yeah, I think before we jump into questions, right, we have some insights and then feedback that we would like to share to you as a community. So let's talk a little bit about the issues about playability, mainly about the automation and bots. So first thing first, I would like to say that we are actively listening to all of your feedback, reading all of the Kenny posts, checking Discord, Telegrams, and all of the channel that we have, right? It's not that we don't really care or something. It's just that sometimes it's a little bit too much, and we hope you understand that we only have a few of us and trying to run the platform, right? So that's just to put it right there. So yeah, let's talk about where do we stand at the moment, right? So is the game, or Crabada in general, always has been about the accessibility and the playability of the game, and we want to keep the ecosystem to be open to a variety of participants and promote the equality of access, right? So with this in mind, is power out both our past and ongoing efforts to develop features and updates to the game and push it to the direction that such all of the players will have the same kind of enjoyments, the same kind of access, somewhat of equality right there in any aspects of the game. So we also very well aware that without you guys, without the players, without the accessibility to the games, there would be no game. Hence, there would be no economy. Hence, there would be no problems to solve at all, right? So we are very much aware of that. So carrying on, like we have some feedback, or we have some complaints or from the community about the bot issues. I can share to you quickly some statistics. So we have this few months back before the gacha in place. Back then we have only around 700 plus looters, and most of them are bots, because technically every mine out there established, you will be looted immediately. So it's like 1-to-1 ratio, right? And for the first
Okay,
implementation
hang
of
on,
capture,
Ronnie. Sorry.
yeah,
I think really quickly, Shini wants to add a point to what you've
Yeah.
just said so far.
Right.
all right.
So, right, about the issues of playability, right? Ronnie touched on how we are pushing our development efforts towards making the game more accessible and more player friendly towards everyone, right? Crabada was made to be a play and earn game, right? A play and earn, not play to earn. So, I think the play aspect of Crabada is equally important, if not more important than the economical aspect in the long term. Right? At the end of the day, we're trying to find a good balance between both, so we can prop Crabada up onto a higher scale, right? Not let the scales tip too much to one side, right? And that is the vision that we are working towards, to make a fun and enjoyable game that kind of incentivizes playing. So it's the best of both worlds. Right.
Yeah, thank you for adding on that point. I think definitely an important distinction to make between play and earn and play to earn, and how important the play aspect of it is overall. Yeah, let's pass back to Ronnie. Give us the stats. Give us the stats.
Yeah, thank you. Very good add-on. So yeah, I was saying like we have like 700 looters before the age of capture, and then when capture introduced, we have like average in terms of daily loot, we have almost like 1700 looters per day. So that's quite a significant increment, right? So, and then the second implementation, which is the heavier change to the core mechanics of the game, which you all understand recently, is the looting point system. It somewhat, affected 44% decrease in the max daily efficiency if you play as a looter. If you are a human looter, maybe a little bit less than that. But actually, it's bridged the gap between the manual and the automated players by a lot, right? So up until today, you have the gap margin of around 5 to 6% per day for available mines that can be looted. So for all of the players out there who didn't have a chance to loot before, now you can actually do it because their gap margin right there, right? And after this was implemented, we have the daily average jumping from 1700 to like 3200 looters, right? So that's also a significant jump, right? So yeah, Swan and Sugunami, if you want to add anything here.
Yeah, I think loads of people can definitely speak for that improvement in terms of playability and in looting, especially. I know I was definitely one of the people who only mined in the beginning, didn't even bother trying to loot at all. But yeah, I think everyone can say the same, that it's definitely a lot easier and a lot more accessible. Just to answer a quick question here in the chat, do devs get rest? The answer is no. We do not sleep.
No, if naps count, then I guess yes.
Yeah, we take naps. We don't sleep. Yeah. Shini, do you want to add on to the anything that Ronnie just mentioned earlier?
Yeah, definitely. So far we've really been implementing these changes for playability, right? In the first change that we implemented, which was the capture, it was, I think, a good 2.5 times more looters, right, as compared to the initial 700 before we started taking a look at this entire automated situation, right? I mean, it wasn't the most elegant solution. It was, I would say, on a scale almost at the level of bad, right? In terms of playability, many people do not love to solve the capture, right? But I think in this case, it's function over form, right? Where the effect of us implementing that change allows playability for more users, right? And so in the second iteration, where it was higher development effort. Okay, maybe let me talk a bit about the processes we go through to effect changes. We see a problem brought up by the community. We evaluate the situation. We try to nip the problem in the bud, right? How do we do that? We always go back to the drawing board. Like in V1, capture was not good enough. We understand that, and we always try to listen to the community for feedback and for the sentiment around the change, and as well as our shout out to our group of contributors that came up with help us come up with the looting point system that I would say was a relatively successful update, right? We typically do not do knee-jerk reactions. Like initially when we put out updates, it could be positive sentiment, it could be negative sentiment, but it is temporary, right? Players adjust and they feel the full effects of what's happening, and that gives us data to work upon, right? So some of our updates actually take more time than usual because we have to deliberate on what should be the action going forward and whether we should actually be making a change to that or not. Right? So that's a bit about the processes that we actually go through to effect changes.
Yeah, definitely want to reiterate on like how decisions need time to be made. We need to consider a lot of things before first off we make the decision, and then we start implementing things, and like before we can even announce the change to the community. So I think that's one thing that is important to highlight as well. Okay, anything else you guys want to add on to that?
Just a minor touch there. I think also people were asking a lot about the captcha. Like sometimes it's not fair to color-blinded people, and it's like just a single type, so it's easily bypassed by bots, right? So the answer is yes, we have the plan to upgrade it to a different type of captcha. But the question is, we have to balance between what we want in terms of the priority in the roadmap versus the current resource that we can afford. So as you guys know, we are having the swimmer upcoming, which will be shared shortly after in this AMA as well. And we do have also the battle game, so that will somewhat come afterwards, right? So just to put it there for everyone to understand about the priority that we're having in mind. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Ronnie. Okay, I think we can go ahead and touch on Swimmer really quickly. I think everyone's very curious. When launch? Yeah, Shinigami, take it away.
All right. Yep. So I think this was a very heavily discussed topic, right? That we had to make an announcement on the very day that we were supposed to launch Swimmer. This decision was actually extremely difficult for the team. We essentially had a complete C chain fork ready to deploy, right? To launch Crabada on it. It was there, right? But due to some unfortunate circumstances that occurred in the Web3 space, right? It kind of made us rethink our decision, right? So a bit of background on where we were or how we came to the C chain fork, right? That was not essentially subnet EVM, that was the standard set by Avalanche. We were actually working on subnets really early, and many months prior to before subnets was made more commonly known to the public, right? Essentially many months of development effort have been put into it, right? But we were weighing security and future proofing versus launching in the now, right? How much impact will that have short term and long term? So what we decided to go with was difficult because, like, as I mentioned, we already had a product ready to go. It was just left to be deployed, and we would have Swimmer up and running. But why we decided to go with Subnet EVM was because, number one, it was working along a set of common standards from Avalanche, set by Avalanche, right? What this gives us the opportunity to do is to work alongside all the other subnet developers and with the Avalanche team to further develop subnets together, right? It's a rare opportunity that something like that comes, and it's really, I guess, once in a lifetime, right? That we get to develop and work on something this huge, right? And another point that I would like to bring to light is, on the topic of security, right? Essentially, if we were running our own C-chain fork, let's say we face an exploit, we would be left to fend for ourselves, essentially, right? But if we were running together with the common standards of Subnet EVM, we would be able to collaboratively solve, any of these exploits or issues, and we would have adequate support to, fix and rectify these issues, right? So, I think the path from there was quite clear that Subnet EVM was indeed the way to go, right? Although it was a month delay, I think it was really a necessary delay, right, for the positives that we had with the change, right? And to also touch on the topic, there were questions saying, why don't we launch C-chain fork first, and work on Subnet EVM in parallel? I don't think that was a viable solution because it would have been extremely disruptive to our player base, right? Imagine having to bridge assets over to Swimmer number 1 and then, a couple of weeks later, bridge assets over to Swimmer number 2. User experience-wise would not have been very nice. And it was additional effort to have to, focus on upkeeping our C-chain fork and work on developments on Subnet EVM as well. Right? Yeah. So that's kind of a part on why we had to switch to Subnet EVM and for the delay.
Yeah. I think important to highlight as well. And we're playing a blockchain game here. We're in the Web3 space, and with that, security has to be priority. So yeah, that's just one thing that I want to mention as well. And on the topic of Swimmer, we're very happy to tell you guys that we're on track. Crabada will move to Swimmer Network on the 13th of May. So that's we have a bunch of milestones coming ahead, especially in May. We launched the Swimmer testnet on the 18th this month, which is a huge milestone for us. So congrats to our DevOps team if you guys are listening. We're proud of you. And next is our Crabada idle game on the testnet. And I don't know, do you guys want to touch on these really quickly before we move on? Yeah.
So later on in the day today, we're going to be releasing a form to request for crabs, right, on the testnet. That Crabada will be on testnet starting tomorrow. So I think we would require the help of the community to come in and help stress test Swimmer, right? Try and break it, please. Right? Yeah. So that's coming up tomorrow. On the 9th of May, we are looking to launch Swimmer mainnet, right? And on the 13th, Crabada idle game will migrate to the mainnet. Not necessarily migrate, because what will be having is 2 instances running, one on the sea chain and one on Swimmer. So it creates a buffer for our players to, take their time to migrate. There's no rush. We're not gonna be cut off the game on sea chain, right? The timeline for that is to be announced. We will give adequate time for players to bridge over, essentially, right? And on the 15th, I think this is also another huge milestone for us, which is the launch of the battle game, long-awaited battle game. Let's go.
The 15th? I don't think we've shared
15th.
that yet, right?
15th of May.
We have.
We have. Yeah.
Okay.
The beginning of the new era of crabs. Let's go.
Let's go. I don't know. I'm so excited. There's so much coming up. Not even ready for migration yet. And then we have the battle game coming. Wow. Okay. Lots of exciting news.
To add on to what's to come with the battle game, right? We'll be launching it on 4 platforms, right? Yesterday, not sure if all of you saw the poll that went on Twitter. Right, we were essentially polling on your most used platform, like from the community, so that we can allocate our developer resources, our DevOps and game resources to see, okay, let's say there's an update, right? Which update should be prioritized and come out first based on how many players we have on that platform, right? And also to add on to the point of the 15th, Windows, and we are expected to launch on Windows and Mac OS, right? As for iOS and Android, we are subject to the approval of the app and Google Play stores, right? And hopefully no hiccups. They do not reject us sending through the app and everything comes out on the 15th. But do expect like a bit of buffer if in the case they do reject the apps.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate. But I don't know, Shini, if you voted on the poll yourself, but I was so surprised to be in the minority. I play the idle game on Mac OS. I don't know about the rest of you all. I'm so surprised to think to know that most people actually play on their mobile. That was a pretty surprising stat for me.
Yeah, because we are pretty much computer bound, right?
Yeah.
Like normal people actually go out and move around. So yeah, mobiles are the way to go.
Something is really wrong with us.
It's not them. We're the problem. We don't go out enough. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry for assuming that everyone has a MacBook. I guess I kind of just assumed that everyone plays on the desktop and not out and about playing with their crabs. I'm surprised that you all go outdoors, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm glad that you guys bring your crabs outdoors. Actually, that's great for them. I'm sure it is. Okay, I think we've touched on a lot of points on Swimmer. Now let's move on to our next topic, which is also very important. It has been, I think, taken up a lot of attention, especially in general, and everyone who's playing the game will know about this. And I'm talking about the UI lags. Okay, Ronnie, please shed some light on the UI lags. What are we doing about it? How are we thinking about it? And why are players experiencing these lags?
Just buy a newer device. Joking. I mean, first thing first, we've been encountering, significant growth in terms of number of players, concurrent users and active users at once. That's one thing for sure. I mean, like from every digital product out there has this phase we call MVP. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the term, but MVP is like a viable version. At first, it's functional, it's working, but it's not too fancy. It's not very scalable because we want the product to be working first, right? So this is a typical thing in the industry, whether you are in building an app or a web service, is the same, right? So the more growth we face, the more scalability challenge that we have to face. And this is just one of the things, right? So we have more players to come, and hence we need to improve the thing with the parser, which is right now is not designed very in terms of scalability. It's not very scalable, to be honest, right? And the next thing is with the UI lag, this could be also the as you all seen recently, we have kind of a DDoS attack, right? I want to touch on this really quickly. We have like 2 to 3 times we spotted the attack, and it's causing the API to respond a lot of data. We did, of course, put some improvement there, shield up and prevent some other attacks, right? So those of the 3 are just the numbers that we really spotted and have an impact. Before that, we blocked some, so they have 0 impact on the platform. But those times are the times that you guys experience UI lag, inaccessibility of the game, or you cannot see the mines or the loot whatsoever. So yeah, we've been monitoring this very heavily for the last couple of days. So by far, I would say it's pretty safe, and yeah, it's good to go. And the next thing for us to do in terms of improving this is, of course, with the parser to improve it. And secondly, to split the public API versus the game API. So for example, you all familiar with Crabada Tracker, right? They've been also improving their platform to store their old historical data instead of requesting directly from Crabada. So as a partner, we will have this kind of transition, but slowly we have to transition and to make sure that everything is optimal. And that is actually planned, all right? So in terms of performance and UI lag, rest assured that we are aware of it and we're working on that actively. Not just us, but our partners as well, right? Anything you guys want to add there? Shinigumi, Swan?
No, I think you covered. Yeah, you covered it pretty well and comprehensively.
Yeah, good job, Ronnie.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
I think there's nothing else to go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I read this question real quick also in the chat as I seen. So put all of the focus on swimmer net, any consideration on planned marketplace changes and ETA. So I want to quickly address this. Like, yes, we do. And the most recent change you're gonna witness is before the end of April. You will see in marketplace, spoiler alert, some changes reflecting the skills of the battle game. That's to come, right? You
Listen
see,
carefully, guys.
Yeah.
Alpha here.
and then you have somewhat of the feature that a lot of people requesting, which is to swap the Crabadas.
Yeah.
That's gonna be there too. So stay tuned for the official announcement.
Yeah, I think this crab swap, we've been waiting on this update for a very long time. Well, not a very long time, obviously. Team moves quickly. Not everyone can say that. But I think, it was a pretty big issue, I think, community-wise especially, because before we had, I don't know if you guys know, the trading channel that was open, and we had so many scammers, and a lot of our fellow Crabadians unfortunately fell victim to these scams. And yeah, I'm very happy about the upcoming crab swap feature. And everyone's just protected now, I guess. Yeah, well done, Ronnie, on that.
Yeah.
I think all kudos to you.
Great job, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, I think that's it for our previous topic. We are receiving so many questions about the battle game and what to expect. I think Shini, do you want to touch on the battle game?
Yeah, definitely. Happy to share. So I think the most common question that I've seen being asked is, before we touch on the battle game, right? will the idle game continue to exist? The answer to that is yes, it will. It will concurrently run alongside the battle game. The current mechanics of the idle game will remain the same. And the next question then is, will there be changes to the rewards? Right? Drum roll. There will be changes initially to the rewards of the idle game. So we can expect it to stay the same for a while, right? But it might not be permanent. We will be evaluating and gathering data from the battle game, and see if we should be adjusting the idle game rewards, right? And we will adjust it if it's necessary, being that the battle game is a vehicle to push Crabada to a bigger audience, and eventually the Web 2 audience as well.
Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Crabada's first community AMA session. Something went wrong with our recording and we lost the last 5 to 10 minutes of the audio, unfortunately. But don't worry, you're only missing out on a tiny bit of alpha. So be sure to join our Discord server for the latest game updates as well as news about our next AMA. We'll see you there, and thank you again for tuning in. Happy crabbing!